Call me to order. Roll call, Chad. Lizzie,
Here.
Becky,
Here.
Laura,
Here.
Jeff,
Here.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public participation.
I know Rob had something.
Rob?
I got my water bill last month, and it's, I'm wondering why we're not getting red flags posted somewhere, because the previous bill that we got were 3 times higher than our normal usage. This last one was 5 times higher than our normal, and we're not doing it. Now, I was here at the last meeting. I know we've had snow and that, and I know we've had a couple water breaks. I know he's been really busy. But it was agreed that Rusty was gonna come by my house and have me shut my water off to see if we had a leak somewhere. Didn't happen. I don't wanna pay this water bill until we find out what's going on. Because there's no way we used 500 or 300 gallons a day. And if I had a leak, my basement would be completely flooded and like a swimming pool.
We'll get down there.
I mean, not necessarily, if you get a leak between the meter and the house, it may not show up in your basement because the whole village is built.
I agree, but it would show up somewhere in the surface of the,
It showed up on the meter.
The meter would show it, but we've had water mains that have leaked that the guys have tried to track down for months. And it was hundreds of thousands of gallons of water. And until it surfaced, we had no idea where the leak was because we are on gravel.
Well, we lost 6 of our fire hydrants are leaking right now.
I'm sorry?
6 of our fire hydrants are leaking now, and we're getting them worked on. We had one main water break down by the Legion, and they've got another one, and I don't know if they found it yet.
I think it's down by the depot.
By the depot.
I think that's what he said.
So,
Yeah, I understand, and I understand we've been real busy.
and one of them got sick.
Here's my thing, is I don't wanna get shut off, and I don't wanna pay this until we figure out what's going on.
That's understandable.
I'm just asking, at least we have some consideration that way.
Well, I would say that we could waive the shut off since we haven't been able to get there to help identify it.
That's fair.
But if it is a leak, the bill's on you.
Sure, I get that, I get that. You know, if there is actually a leak, it's my fault, my problem, but
But it'd be nice to know where the leak is.
it's a non-known that I want to find out.
And there's a storm drain that runs right in front of your house. So if there's any leakage from your water meter, there could be infiltration into that storm also from that.
Let's find out first, okay?
Yeah, I agree. We can, just make sure that Trina knows that that address is on hold for shut off until we can get Rusty out there now that the snow's melted.
We might be able to get Dave to take some more.
You know, because I know that he was out a little bit for,
My big thing though is if it's that much of a jump, there should be some kind of red flags going off somewhere that says, hey, we need to be contacting this customer and saying,
Well, the problem is we don't know there's a jump until the meters are red.
well, I understand that. What I'm saying though, with that much, I still wasn't noticed. Nobody gave me notice until we looked at the bill and saw the.
To be honest, Rob, we never had with anyone in the village. It's just, with
Well, that's a problem. That's
Well,
what I'm
No,
saying.
the procedure is supposed to be that a report is ran after the meters are read. That report should give her the red flags, and then she should give that list to Rusty to go look at. That is not being done. I've checked with Rusty and I've checked with Trina. That's not getting done. The report is being ran and then bills are getting processed, but the list given to Rusty to double check before we send out the bills, that part's not being done, and we need to make sure it's being done.
Well, but in Rob's case, it wouldn't matter because they knew, but there's been circumstances the guys have, I mean, hell, you probably couldn't have got to your water meter with all the snow that was plowed.
I agree with that. I do.
Because there was 4.5 feet of snow plowed up through there.
No, I agree with what you're saying there. You know, this is one case, but I'm saying if this is happening to everybody, somebody ought to be seeing a red flag come up when there's that much of a difference. That's all I'm saying.
We're gonna check on it, sure.
Thank you, Rob.
I ask something.
Of course, I
I'm Greg Howard. I just had a question. I know at the last meeting, there was a proposal for if you voluntarily shut off your water for a monthly fee that would be assessed, not just for the shut off before and after like it's currently in the ordinance. But I wanted to ask about that. I think it's proposed at $20
Yes.
per month. My question went back to what is that based on? Or what is the fee specifically based on?
So that fee would be so that because of the maintenance and how much all this equipment costs, that fee would be revenue for the village. But when it comes time for you to turn it back on, then we just go out and turn it back on.
So when you say equipment, what are you referring to?
The meters cost money and all this stuff it just costs money. A lot of municipalities have a ready to serve order. What we did was we had made a motion for one last year, and we just didn't realize in the conversation when we'd had it that we couldn't implement it until an ordinance was put in place, so that's what we're working on now.
So what that will boil down to is instead of you shutting the water off inside your house, the guys go out, shut your meter off, you do not receive a minimum water bill. So if you have your water meter shut off, it'll be a $20 fee instead of with water, sewer, and trash, it's.
98.05.
Yeah, 98, yeah. So now you'll still be, if you have the water shut off, you will still be billed for your trash can.
Right, if you're receiving trash service, you will be.
Correct.
If you have a dumpster at your property.
Well, that was another thing that was brought up, because I said, I don't want one. And I called Rumpke after I said, okay, let's stop service. And they said, it doesn't matter whether you want one or not. That's gonna be there. And I'm like, well, to what purpose?
Trash container.
Oh, trash container,
So-
not a dumpster.
Right, not a dumpster, but a trash container. I'm like, well, I'm not receiving service, why do I need to set?
The reason we went that route was to try to keep our trash costs low, because 6 or 7 years ago, there was going to be, it might have been longer than that, there was going to be a huge increase in trash. So Rumpke proposed, if we do these containers, then the guy just drives by,
Yeah,
hits a
picks it
button,
up, dumps it in.
and dumps it in. So we chose to go that route with it.
So they'll stay there, I just won't get charged for service while I'm here. Because it's not a dumpster,
It's a trash,
plastic trash.
it's a trash can, you will be charged for that, because that's part of your monthly trash fee.
Even though I don't receive service.
It's because you have the can there.
We're working on that.
Yeah, we are working with the fiscal officer about sorting out the trash so that people that don't want the dumpster won't have it.
Yeah.
And it'll save you and it'll save us.
We're also gonna be working with Rumpke.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and save.
Yeah, because that, to me, is,
You shouldn't be charged, if you don't want the garbage can, you shouldn't be charged for it.
Yeah, I don't want it.
And you shouldn't be forced to have a can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that, I'm not opposed to the fee like you're talking about with the water. It's just I was trying to figure out how did you get there? How $20? Because I mean, if I pay the basic, because I'm lucky to use 500 gallons a month. So I figure right now it's 35% of my basic water fee would be $20. 35% basically.
Well,
It's almost like-
it was a small fee to kind of average it out for everybody, and it's similar to, like, some municipalities, when I originally looked into this, they'll do $15 to $20 for water, and an additional $15 to $20 for sewage. But we agreed in our conversation to just do a flat rate, that way it was clear across the board, equal for everybody, and it saved people from needing to pay that $98.05 every month if they didn't need the service.
So basically, there's a $20 minimum on everybody's basically then, that it goes in for a
If
ready to
it's shut off at
serve.
the well, or at
It's
the
already the
meter.
same.
It's
So that would be reflected as a $20 minimum payment that's part of your water bill, and then whatever's above goes for operations and maintenance and.
what we did was so that, I mean, we just spent over $300,000 to have new readers put in.
Right.
So, and we have a lot of snowbirds that leave, and actually a lot of them just shut the water off in the house and they get billed $98 a month. So it's not fair to them to get paid $98 a month.
Right.
And they're not using anything, so instead of charging them $98 a month, here's $20 and it's a ready for service fee.
Yeah, and that, they're gonna wanna do, just because of what he said, they won't wanna shut this off.
That's right,
You
yeah.
don't wanna be the guy sitting in Florida when you have
It was a big
no
old
breeze
deal.
out here and
I agree
then what's
100%.
going on. So they're gonna wanna do that no matter what. But yeah, I was just trying to figure, okay, so we're looking at a 35% charge on water or 27% water, and if you add in sewer, that's basically what it is, it's 27% of your base charge.
But more, what it was more than anything was instead of charging everyone $98, even though we shut it off,
Right.
it's a way to the people that do have it shut off, it's a discount. So it wasn't based on a figure of a percentage of your water bill, this, that, and the other. It was based on how can we give the people that shut their meter off a break instead of paying, because obviously we know they're not going to be using it for
Right.
months.
Yeah, they're not.
Instead of charging them $98 a month for 3 months, 4 months, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, I was gonna say by current ordinance, you couldn't anyway, because it's gone more than 30 days, you shut it off, you can't, there's no requirement. So you're basically adding a requirement, changing the ordinance to reflect that.
What we're doing is we're not charging them what we, I mean, we could take it away then charge everybody $98 a month.
You could, yeah.
So but we were trying to give them a break at charging, that if they want this break, we shut the water off at the meter and then you will receive the discount. Now, it's the $20 plus.
So
the
you were
trash fee.
potentially gonna change the ordinance to where they'd have to pay even if they voluntarily shut off. The current ordinance is in place to reflect that they were gonna pay a minimum, no matter what. So this is an alternative to requiring them to pay monthly even though they have no fee for service.
Yes.
Okay, so I was wondering, that's what I was trying to get at. Because I didn't hear that part. You're gonna basically change the ordinance to reflect, you're gonna pay that minimum water and sewer bill.
So the ready to serve is different than the minimum requirement. The ready to serve is its own fee,
Right.
and then the minimum is 3,000 gallons is the 98.05 plus trash.
See, what you didn't hear was this conversation happened
July?
6 months, 7 months ago.
Well, now you're.
It fell through the cracks. So now it was a reminder, hey, this happened, we need to get this program out and get it rolling.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I understood, why is this, or how much, or where's this dollar figure coming from? Again, I don't have opposition to it.
Yeah, I called around to a bunch of different municipalities, small ones our size and larger ones closer to like Eaton size, and got references on how they do
So
things.
like a Lewisburg would have a similar ready to serve?
I don't have my
or
list.
West LA?
Yeah, I don't have my list with me, but at home I have a list of different municipalities all around us and ones that have that provide that service with their average.
Yeah,
they
I'm
charge.
aware of ready to serve, I just didn't know that that's what we're establishing.
That's what, yes. And just an FYI, you can request a 60, instead of a 95 gallon container,
Mhm.
you can get a 65 gallon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what size are the typical ones, the
The
smaller.
ones we have in town are 95.
They're all 95?
Every one is 95.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that, I don't need that at all, but That's what I was wondering too, because I did hear that come up as an issue, and I actually called Rumpke about it, and they were like, we're not gonna take it away. All right, thanks, that's all I need. Appreciate it.
You guys, Greg's really old
Yeah.
and you have to go really slow.
You got Greg, that's right.
I have something if I can go next.
Okay?
Come on up.
It's a lot older than me.
You're lying now.
I'm Kelly Moran. I'm here about some things that I've been told and seen with my own eyes that are going on, and I'm curious about the situation. So, but my first comments are going to be, I never thought I would be here to thank Lizzie, but I am. And
This is recording, right?
yeah. And I will, hope you're in the genius chair, so hopefully some of that will rub off. That's yet to be
I was
said.
already pretty smart before I got here,
Okay, well, okay. I'm not gonna quarrel with that. But I do want to thank you because when you came to council and was accusing all of us of being corrupt and so forth, and then you embarked on all of the investigations and so forth that you launched, whatever. Accusing Trina of fraud and all these different things. What that has really netted us is what we see today. So probably had you not started that ball rolling or starting that spool of thread unraveling, we wouldn't probably know what we know. So for that, I thank you. Because it's really a service that, you launched that ship when you started asking these questions that there was no there there. Well, we found the there and it's sitting to your right. So, you were looking for fraud and corruption. It's right there. It's sitting right there. And I don't know how closely you read that, but I think it's really black and white. So, I really don't know where to start other than I'd like to say that I'm shocked, but I guess I'm not. I'm really not. Because, I said at the last meeting, Becky, why didn't you bring that to council? You have a question?
Yes, just one thing. The auditors haven't finished that audit yet.
I don't care. I'm a citizen here. This is a public document. I'm allowed to discuss it unless you want to.
What document do you have?
I was under the understanding that all documentations regarding the audit was for council's eyes only.
That is, it says nowhere on there that it's not public. It's not top secret. It's not anything. This is not.
In our email correspondence, it says in bright red letters, confidential.
Where'd you get a copy of that at?
Doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it?
Well, I'm not.
It's supposed to be
sure.
confidential.
Well, I'm told it's not. So I'm going based on what I'm told.
Okay.
Okay. So what is interesting to me is that if any of us were accused of any of these things that's before us right now, that you and your minions would have had this plastered all over Facebook.
Yeah.
You want to shut me up back?
No, Dan and I had a conversation.
Okay. So,
No, you go ahead and spill your spiel. Let's hear it. Kelly.
okay, that's fine. I'm glad you want to know.
Yeah, I do know.
It would appear that you do.
Yeah.
But the things that have happened then since this letter, that I've been told that you guys came in here on hours where the building was closed. You and Becky, Lizzie Jones, Becky.
I'm an
Wilson.
active council member, I have a key to the building yet.
You have a key to the building. I have a key to the building, I give it back, I don't care, but you can go to the public areas, but you can't go into the fiscal officer's office.
We went in there with the
We went
mayor.
with the mayor.
I don't care who you went in
Time we
there
were with the
with. Do you remember, help me, who was on council? Even you. When we wanted a key, we even spoke out loud, we needed a key to
We don't
Becky's
have a
office.
key. Dan has a key.
When anyone wanted access to your office, you had an absolute excrement hemorrhage at just the suggestion of it.
Except for the mayor. The mayor is the only one that has a key other than the fiscal
When someone is
officer.
under suspicion, I I won't say indictment because that's not come yet,
It's a proposal.
I don't know who thinks it's a good idea to let someone in a fiscal officer's office who's accused of what she's accused of. I don't know why.
I'm not accused of anything. It's a proposed.
Okay, fine. You can, whatever. The problem is, there's a problem.
There is not a
And
problem.
you're-
I've been there before. I have every right to defend myself.
I'm not saying you don't.
Already happened.
I have every right to speak about it.
You do, but you're wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, did you retire? Did you retire when you left our employment?
No, I resigned
Okay.
because of you.
Because of me.
Because of you.
Well, everyone should thank me. And, you know, if I didn't accomplish anything else, if that's true, then I am, you know, that's a job.
Go on with whatever you got.
Look, I'm answering her assertion.
Absolutely.
So, you didn't retire, and it's obvious that our handbook and the code says you have to retire to receive the benefit. You didn't even come to us about seeking approval of it. You just wrote yourself a check while you were still employed. You hadn't even resigned, and you left our employment. No one here didn't see the light of day. And anytime anyone else came here to cash out anything, any sort of payout has to come to council. Rebecca Wilson just can't write a check and leave. Can she?
That's what the state auditors.
Okay. I'm just asking, I mean, I'm this.
Okay. Sign on that.
So, I just can't believe that you guys decided on a day that the building is closed, no one is here, that
We
you,
decided on a day that we both had off work.
well, I don't care what day it is that you decide. The bottom line is you have no right to go in these locked lockers down here. They're locked for a reason. They're locked to keep you and all of us out of it, have no business in
There
it.
was not a single thing locked. We never unlocked anything. Dan unlocked one door. Everything else was already unlocked.
So the storage lockers down there were unlocked.
They were all locked.
And that entitles you to go in there when the building is closed?
Those are public documents, Kelly.
Well,
And you
then
know
your
that.
public records request, you know better than that.
I'm a council member.
It
If it's
doesn't
a
matter.
public record, I don't have to do a public record.
Oh, well, you think
And
so.
let's be honest,
Oh,
you've trained the
alright.
current fiscal officer
Hang
well
on.
enough to not hand over records to council members.
Go ahead, Kelly. I'll speak when you're done, please.
Okay. I think your actions indicate, this is just not what an innocent person does. They don't come skulking around into a locked building, into a fiscal officer's.
There were police officers here and Lizzie was here.
We,
Oh, that makes me feel better.
We
Lizzie was
we
here.
notified
Thank
the
you.
chief
Now,
that
I have
we
not a
would be
concern in the world now. Gee, I'll just go home. This is not my perception is not of what an innocent person would do, is want to get in there and
defend themselves or collect
have access to
evidence
records
correct
that,
a
look, if
misinterpretation.
there's an investigation, let the records sit where they sit. Don't come in here when the place is closed. We don't know what you've seen. We don't know whose personnel files you've seen, what records you've seen, tampered with, destroyed, removed. We don't know. We have no idea. We don't.
You are correct on one thing. Not every council person has access to the fiscal officer's room downstairs. Whatever records are in there, only she and me and our attorneys are allowed to have.
Yeah. I don't care if they're unlocked or not. They have a lock and key on them. Well, how you got in there, I don't know. But that's a question that needs to be answered. To me, you know, the cover-up, as I'm sure that it appears, is probably as bad as what the accusations are. And this lends credibility, in my opinion, to the entire question. So you should know, and Becky should know after 20-some years, that that is not how you obtain records. Especially if you've had a liberal education in how to get records. And that's not the way to do it. So I think that there's another big problem here that needs vetting. and I think it involves both of you. And I think it's rather serious. I can't believe that you smirk and think it's not. And I can't believe you, Becky, after 20-some years of this job, would think that you would come here when the building is closed. If it wasn't a problem, why do you come in here during business hours?
Because we work.
Okay. Well, if it was that important, I think that you could have made arrangements. But, you know, a couple of things that really, and this goes to Becky's pettiness. So Trina tells me that Becky comes in her office and told her to turn out all of those lights. It's a waste of electricity. We had one light in the window and that's all you can have. So that's the level of micromanagement we have coming from council. And I don't understand why someone doesn't put a leash or a muzzle or something on this one, because
It's about time we have more than just me trying to save the village money.
you know what? I will pay the, whatever it costs for the light bulbs in her office. You guys, that's
I'm pretty
ridiculous.
sure your ex-wife's taking all of your money and you won't be able to afford it.
Wow. You know, that puts you
All right.
qualified, now that puts you in the piece of shit.
All right,
Maybe.
get back to order now. Let's ain't go to free fall.
Well, you know when you're over the target, don't you? You can tell when you're over the target.
So
You had no issues of any of the problems in that fiscal office for the last almost 3
You know
years.
what? That has
without
nothing to do with
harming
this.
one person.
That has nothing to do with this, does it? So let's look at the shiny object over here.
I mean, that's what you're doing. You're saying, look at the shiny object.
No,
Look
I'm
at
talking
Becky,
about
look
your
at Becky,
actions.
and ignore the damage that our current fiscal officer has done. That's what you want to do.
Damage? I see $17,000 worth of damage here.
And let's wait until the audit's finished.
And I see
what kind of
$30,000 worth of waste and
done.
damage that you caused, calling for all of these records requests and legal fees. And you know that. And everyone needs to know that. Spent $30,000. But I'm not talking about that. I don't even care about that anymore. But that is a fact. And you know it. This council knows it. You know it. Everybody knows it. You could smirk all you want over there, Dan, but you know it's true.
Time's working.
So anyway, you know, one thing about Trina, that you know, she did put us in the Star Ohio program, and that's netted us about $100,000 a year in interest income. So, you know, you can talk about her light bulbs, you know, you can talk about her bird feeders and her bird seed and her staplers. We got $17,000 that snuck out the door. And that's real stuff. That's not bird seed.
Every conversation that council had had since I've been on here, after 10 years of service, you get paid up to 240 hours in sick time.
Read it.
Actually, in the manual, you have to retire to receive.
Read it.
Right, and there was an amendment that we were trying to locate from 2007, 2008, that was loose leaf in the back of that handbook that we couldn't locate.
Right.
When we had the conversation in December of 2024, not a single member of council said it has to be retirement, it has to be retirement. Every single one of us said, oh, after 10 years of service, we had the conversation, it's recorded, you can look it up on my YouTube.
I'm not denying that, I'm just saying what is in black and
Yeah,
white.
it's what, this is in the Federalist Papers we're talking about here,
It
Lizzie.
is, actually, it's, on,
Excuse me,
Mac has it on the.
you're talking about audit stuff. You need to shut it down right now.
Not really. Yeah, the bottom line is,
Oh, yes, you
these
do.
two really just can't be trusted. I can't believe they're part of this council. I can't believe that they'll be allowed to remain as part of this council, because they demonstrated what they're willing to do behind our backs. And she's demonstrated what she's willing to do when she thought that people might be watching. So it's hard to even understand what she's doing when people aren't. So the other part of this thing that troubles me is it talks about how she miscalculated and duplicated her time. So she's got things in here.
Until we get the final report from.
No, but this is
The rest of it will go to the Attorney General.
that's fine, but she's overpaid herself in the calculation. So what I think we need to do, what this is sparked and what should trigger, is we should have a top to bottom A to Z nuts and bolts audit of how she's calculated payroll, comp time, sick pay, and how because she's demonstrated right here, most recently, how she inflated her pay and her overtime and comp time.
Trust me, it's being audited.
Okay.
They've been hurt.
No. I talked to the auditors. This audit is of a specific, like 22
And they're not
and
doing it.
23, whatever. We need to go back. We need to go back 10 years. We need to go back however many years she's been calculating time, because I'm sure that there's going to be so much inflated overtime and comp time and all that.
Council signed off on payroll, and she passed her audits. So
No, but they weren't
if you
looking
had,
specifically,
if you had
this-
questions, then why didn't you do something the 20 years you were on council? You
Well-
signed off on that payroll. You guys made motions and said, I make a motion to accept payroll.
okay, but this puts it in a whole different light. This tells me we have problems, we need to go back and look.
Well,
We need
the
to go back
fact
and
that you
see.
have that in an open meeting tells me that we do have problems.
Yes.
Because that was confidential from the
Well,
auditor's
I'm telling you,
office.
no, not this.
The information
Yes, it is,
that
it's
you've gotten
confidential.
out came from the
Okay,
auditor.
well, we'll
You
see.
cannot
Confidential
discuss
letter.
that.
Well, we are. So the other thing that we've got a problem with is, and we all know this, how many of you, do you guys clock in for work? How many of you clock in? You clock in? You clock in? Nobody clocks in?
I'm retired, I no longer.
Well, but you know what I mean. Did you clock in? Did you clock in? You clock in, Judy, anywhere?
Kelly, you got anything else here?
Yeah, I think oh, wait a minute.
No, I'm not.
No, because this is another one, and you know it, don't you? This is a soft
I
underbelly.
don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I'm getting ready to make it very clear, and I'll wrap it up. So if you clock in for him and he's not at work, you get fired?
Called wage theft.
Yeah.
Payroll.
So we have an individual that works for this village, and we all know it. And we all know it.
And
That
it
he
was brought up and brought into the executive council meeting, that was brought out and discussed here, so we know what you're going to do with.
Okay,
It's been,
that doesn't dismiss it or excuse it. Again, we need to go back and see how many hours of wage theft there are and have been. People don't do this stuff just one time. So, you've got a guy that's been clocking in for people they know aren't at work and haven't been at work and clocking in and out for each other for who knows how many years. And you don't care. And you don't care. And you excuse this. So, anyway, I think that we have kind of a general feeling and flavor of what's happened and what's happening and who's doing it and who's excusing it.
So, I do want to say one thing, though. The solicitor did have to tell us that as council, we're no different than everyone that's sitting out there. That we can view the files. We can't have any recording equipment there, or we can do a public records with
public record,
Public
the time you give, yeah, everybody's
Yes.
fine with that.
Yeah. I mean,
But just to go through it now.
It's not that, I can't go through any of the files, none of us are allowed to go through any of those files.
That's perfect.
Right. Thank you, Kelly. Yes,
Good afternoon, council. Jerry back. Long time resident, back, BACK, 133 Sherwood Drive. So, sitting in the audience, listening to Kelly there, it sounds like, and I know there's probably nothing that you can, Dan as mayor can elaborate on. Is there an investigation currently going on?
there is.
Okay.
I filed a criminal report today.
Okay, so the reason I asked that, coming from a guy that was in the position of leadership for many years, Jeff will tell you, with our local union, I think it would be appropriate, until this is settled and things are taken care of, for Rebecca to take a leave of absence, so that, let me finish, please, so that, I mean, I'm not saying she's guilty or not guilty, let the cards fall where they fall, you know, and
But as
as
an
you said,
elected official, only the attorney general can remove her from that seat.
I'm not saying remove her. The attorney general don't have to have her step up and say, this is going on. I think that would be the right thing for me to do, to step back, so we don't have the incident that was discussed with the records. I'm going to step back, take a leave of absence. This clears, I'm clear, I'm back.
They both should.
All is well.
Okay, thank you.
From a public, from a resident's view of it, you know, we talked clarity, you know, Lizzie, you guys, Dan, you beat Facebook to death, you know, on this old council. You wore them out.
It's crickets right now.
You wore them out. Clarity, clarity, you know, let's show the residents what's going on. Let's open this, let's open that. I think that's the proper thing to do. So, I said, it falls in your court. Thank
As
you.
soon as it's cleared by the auditor, then it will be public.
Again, let me back up again, maybe I didn't make myself clear.
I see what you're saying, it would like for her to remove herself, and only she could do that, but. she
I
doesn't
think that that would be the proper thing for her to do for the residents of Camden until this, and I hate to use this term, investigation, whatever's going on, until this is clear. And again, if it's clear, take your seat right back and let's conduct business.
Okay, thank
You
you.
know, let's let the law take course. So,
And it is.
do I need to sign in?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm going to say I'm not getting a response on the leave of absence. I'll take that as
All right, any staff reports?
I didn't know if there's any other public participation. Is that all of it?
Yeah. I'm right up to these people. Did you guys have something for public participation?
I'm just coming to listen and
I just wanted to make sure. There was just some
Thank you for that.
faces.
maybe next time.
Staff report.
The only thing I have is the Parks and Recreation did meet on February 9th. We will be meeting again on March 3rd here at the Town Hall at 5:30 PM.
All right, old business. What do we got? Anything?
I got new business.
New business?
I've got one.
Go for it. Old business?
New
The older new.
You know, old business or new?
We're
Old
on-
business?
We're getting old business, sorry.
Yeah. Did you contact the solicitor about?
I'll get that folder, I've got a folder for it.
Okay.
I'll get that to you. Or copies of it, anyway. You have something else yet?
No, I got new business too.
Oh, okay. We'll go with the new business then.
Can we go in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Age before beauty.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to temporarily suspend the current code of conduct because it contains provisions that conflict with the Ohio Revised Code and constitutional rights. Specifically, the public records request process contradicts ORC 149.43, which requires that all public records be made available promptly by the records custodian without council approval, inquiry in a motive, or singling out elected officials. The private, and then the other section is the private social media usage section restricts lawful speech protected under the First Amendment of the ORC 102.3. Sharing factual information such as spending and budget details does not violate the sunshine laws or ethics rules. These sections may infringe on the First and Fourth Amendment rights of council members. I will revise these portions and present a corrected version for council's approval. Until then, I move that existing code of conduct be considered null and void.
May I speak to that? May I address that?
Public participation is over.
I didn't ask you, are you the mayor now? Are you the mayor, Lizzie?
Not yet.
Yeah.
There's a different, I'll have to get you the different ruling from the state on that, because I looked at that before when you talked about that. And what we're doing with the code of conduct is legal. I mean, you can come here and say whatever you want to in a public meeting, but as far as going on private and talk about stuff, it's a different story. So I'll get you the ORC on that.
That's not true.
That is absolutely what you're saying. right
Yeah.
there. At least, and I'm not a lawyer on this. I count on our law people to tell us And I've asked that question and I've been given an answer, and I'll get it in writing for you. And then if I'm wrong, then.
When there's other politicians that can go out of a council meeting and talk about what happened during the council meeting,
Right out
Even-
here, you can do that.
even on social media.
Can I add that the
I've
fire?
seen them, social media, what is that? It's television, it's radio, it's not only on Facebook, people. You know, if a politician wants to talk about, or a county commissioner, whatever, wants to talk about an issue that was discussed during a public meeting, there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly legal under the Ohio Sunshine Laws. So it's perfectly legal. So if I disagree with somebody, and that's the reason, Jerry, why I haven't said anything, because that handbook or code of conduct is actually illegal. But when I came into office, here it is, it's sitting right here in front of my face. That's why I haven't said anything on Facebook. Now,
Well, that code of conduct is given to us by our attorneys, so,
well, I think our attorney's wrong, and I think we need a different attorney.
well, that could.
Of course.
So I made a motion.
Second.
Discussion.
The reason that was put in there because of the things. It's one thing if you discuss what's in a meeting, but when you interject your opinion,
I agree.
and that's where we were with that.
Let's be honest.
And that's why this was put in.
And things were said against another person, which is, if derogatory or not, is covered under the Ohio Revised Code, and also it's covered under the Code of Conduct. All I'm gonna do is rewrite those two sections, the rest of it is fine.
Well, the sections would have to be written by the legal team,
And
not by a council member.
If he writes it, the legal team's gonna have to look at it before
Sure.
it comes to play anyhow.
Absolutely.
So you write it, and then we'll give it to the legal
Okay.
team. Then you can carry on with your vote. And if you're right with that, and it's okay, we'll make it along, and we'll avoid the code of conduct.
You guys could create an agreement among the board that signed away every human right and financial right and every right that you have. If you agree on it as a board, that's what you're agreeing to. You know, it doesn't matter about all these things Dan's talking about. If you guys come to an agreement about whatever the agreement is, that's the agreement.
Yeah.
Period.
I
All this
agree
stuff
with
is
that.
just, so that's what the agreement is. You don't like it.
Well, I mean, the motion was made to suspend it, and she seconded it, so I guess it's just roll call time.
But I would say if it's suspended, we need to carry on just as if it were in place.
Well, I see how this is
That
gonna
would
go.
contradict the whole suspending it.
Why suspend the whole thing? Why not suspend one section you're concerned with?
Something I might add is, anything that's in that code of conduct book is covered under the Ohio Revised Code already. You know, every municipality has code of conduct. I got no problem with that. These two sections have just got to be amended. That's it.
Now, isn't the code of conduct to the Ohio Revised Code, isn't that the minimum?
Yes.
So a municipality.
And a municipality can go beyond.
The
Yes, they
minimum.
can.
So
But
I would say we've gone beyond the minimum, which is our right to do so.
You need to listen to your mayor. You shouldn't be changing anything without legal counsel.
Well, legal counsel is what drew this up. I mean, it's like you have to.
We're not lawyers, people. That's why we pay them a lot of money.
The Ohio Revised Code is the Ohio Revised Code.
There's a motion and a second, we can vote on it, but I don't know that it's a legal vote, so. Lizzie,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Laura,
No.
Jeff,
No,
Dan,
Yay.
Now that is too rich.
yeah.
You're going to change it to make it work for you.
Why didn't you just leave it in place and work on the amendment and then adopt a new?
that's what I
You
said.
people.
Yeah, that's what we should have done.
Unbelievable. But if you want to see corruption, it's right here. You got 3 of them. It's the cabal.
What's your new business?
So it was brought to my attention an issue with the property at 110 West Central. They were given an extremely high bill that was obviously a mistake given that it was for $7,000. The property has had issue after issue the last few years with billing, and the new meters have only added to the issue. After working with our work crew, talking with residents, and with Trina, the only logical explanation for so many clerical issues is in that office. The process that is supposed to be that after a meter reading is complete, the reports be created and a list of unusual readings to be given immediately to Rusty to go review those meters and check the properties. This does not happen. Unfortunately, bills are processed and sent out to flood the office with calls to correct the bills, and also Trina makes adjustments every month with council never hearing about these issues. Along with this, Community Action Partnership has complained that the majority of calls are left unanswered, and the organization feels that they have been blown off and not respected. They have been given bills that are replica amounts of the exact same amount month after month for August, September, and October, and they have no idea what they should actually be charged. And with CAP being the type of organization that it is required to have accurate accountings of everything.
Have they come in and talked to the fiscal officer?
Yeah, they talked to her. They, but it's been an ongoing issue month after month after month. They either get, like now they have a jacked up bill that makes no sense, or they just get a repeat bill month after month after month.
One thing about that, what's the name?
It's the apartments.
Who?
It's the apartments.
Oh, it's the school department?
Yeah,
They get one water bill?
yes. They have 14 units, there's 13 units that are filled, and they've tried working with Trina. They said that they literally get blown off by her, that if they can get through it all, they'll call day after day after day in hopes to get a hold of her. And they finally reached the point where they called me.
And what's the water bill?
It was around $7,000.
For 14 units.
Yeah. And so when I talked to Trina about this specific location, because I
Have
hear this from
Rusty
residents,
been there to look at it yet?
Rusty's been, this round, Rusty's been out sick.
Well, let's have Rusty check the meter.
Well,
It's not a big check it.
Is it one of these cases where it's, I mean, we've got that list of meters
Right,
that are
and-
reading funny. Is this one of those cases also?
And Rusty has looked into it, and he told me this is not it. There's something going on when the information gets sent to her and she's doing her part of it. It's not the meters. So I don't know if she needs more training on how to use the software or what, but I mean, it's a constant, I get a lot of complaints about the water.
I thought,
And it's astronomical readings that don't make sense.
Because we started all over in January by not billing in January and billing in February. And there's been a lot of questions on it. So let me get Rusty, I'll get involved with him, check it out and see. But there's 14 units in there, one of them could be total running all the time.
And they checked into that, they looked into it.
All of them?
Yes, every single unit. I
Well,
spoke with,
if we see the meters moving, then we'll know whether or not that somebody's using something there.
but another problem that we run into is we made a motion in a previous meeting that there was to be no adjustments made without council's approval, except for pool adjustments. When I went to Trina to discuss this, she had already given them a new amount and then looked at me and said, should I just adjust it in the computer? And I said, no, that needs to be brought to council. So she's not following the motion that was made at the previous meeting. So if we don't know, if we're just getting feedback from residents, and we're being told that their bills are screwed up, their readings are astronomically higher than usual. This is constant, but now we have an entire apartment complex that's complaining.
their meter reading would have been a 2-month reading.
It's 49 days.
So-
Yes,
Because like,
and we even looked at that, but there's no way that it's $7,000.
Okay, we'll look into it. Any more new business?
No, you consider this new business.
Sure, why not?
Cancel the meeting for 319. Is that new business?
319. 319.
I want to make a motion that we cancel the meeting for March 19th because Lizzie will be gone, I'll be gone, and Trina will be gone.
We still have that.
I'll second.
we'd still have a quorum.
Still have
You'll still have a
so-
quorum.
You still have, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have three here tonight.
Yeah.
They won't have
So we
it.
still have a quorum,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I just wanted to do that in case like she's out of town or.
Well, if we don't have a quorum, then we'll cancel. They won't.
To cancel it now would be premature, I think.
Anything else? Right. We have approval of the minutes.
We don't have any minutes, payroll or anything.
Right now, I'm ready to go.
We don't have anything.
About the minutes from last meeting that didn't get approved.
Okay, no purchase orders or anything? Good. Well, she redone yours, if she had, she'd have.
Yeah.
Then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
That's fine.
Discussion. Lily.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Laura.
Yeah.
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 Dan.
Yeah.
So since the current conduct is suspended, I guess you guys are gonna be posting all this stuff on Facebook?